Test, 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 test. Making sure we're online. Hello, hello. Cool. What's up, everybody? I am the DM tonight. And I'm not going to waste a bunch of time with an introduction. I'm just going to jump right in. I'm going to have the joy of trying to run a Twitch stream and DM the game and be a player as well. I think Tim's going to join us about halfway through or something. He was just going to run late, but we'll see what happens. I hope they weren't talking during that introduction. I didn't have a mute. Anyway, let's go. All right, we're ready. Let's introduce our characters real quick. Chris, you haven't been here in a while. Why don't you kick us off?
Yeah, I'm Skra. I'm a Kenku druid of spores. So I got gnarly fucking mushrooms and stuff like that growing in my feathers. And I can't really speak on my own, so I can only copy what the others say.
John? Or Kit?
Hi, I'm John. I'll be playing Kit, who is a kobold paladin.
Riprex.
Hello, I'm Riprex. I'm playing Ram's Rush, a lizard folk fighter.
I believe
He was dead last game. I just revived him.
Yeah, but he has risen again.
Yeah, are you going to play Minos tonight or no?
Where did you take
I don't think so.
Okay.
Okay. Wesley?
Yes, I play Hiram, the High Elf Warlock.
And besides being the temporary DM, I will also be playing Jared Bonantman, the Centaur Wizard. So, since I'm the DM, I would like to kick this game off with Jared rolling a perception roll. Nat 1.
I thought you were going to say a riddle.
With this Nat 1, Jared opens a box and finds 9,000 gold pieces. And the leader of the Church of Sativa says, "We can have it all. We can just take it with us. They don't need it." No, for reals though, we resurrected our friend Ramsrosh by the grace of Sativa or whatever this religion is about. And in payment, they've asked us to go investigate a logging camp that they get all their wood and supplies and stuff from them to burn fires and everything, because this is a cold land. And the logging camp is having some trouble, so we got to go check that out, help them out, and see if we can get this logging operation back in order. Is there anything that you guys would like to do before we leave?
Well, I would just like to clear something up because,
Sure.
I mean, like, technically the one who we should be thanking for Ramsrosh being resurrected is Skra.
Yeah, absolutely. No shit.
That's fair. He kept him in a sort of freezer state.
Yeah, he put him on ice.
And Ram's Rush still has no idea of any of this. Yes.
As far as Ramsrosh is concerned, he just beat the lady down in the cave, and then everything's well and good after a big nap.
Exactly.
Skra offers you some of my bag of seeds to ease your confusion.
He's not confused. He just doesn't know what happened. But yeah, I'll take some food.
All right. Just don't be too greedy. Like only one handful of the seeds.
He takes as much as you're giving him.
Oh, do you? Well, okay, so Scraw reaches his little talon hand in there and grabs a bunch of seeds and holds them out to you.
Ramsrush takes them and eats them. Right there, right then.
We're best friends.
As you can see on the map, we're going to be going from the Tall Pines Cathedral northeast towards that bridge, and that's where we'll find the mining camp. I'm going to say it's probably based on how far we traveled last game. I'm going to say this will take us about half a day or something to get there. We'll say it's early morning. Well, we'll say after last night's party, maybe we woke up around noon or something.
It takes us 5 minutes to get there.
Woke up around noon. Yeah, that's accurate.
We might be there by dinner time at this rate.
Yeah, drum circle party went super late.
Does marijuana make you like hungover or?
No.
I really don't know.
Yeah, I was gonna say I would not know.
It doesn't.
No, it doesn't. Unless it makes you eat a lot, so you might need to go to the toilet before we go, but that's pretty much it.
At the very least, I kind of assumed we stayed up late.
They'd be accurate.
Well, if there's no business here in the Tall Pines Cathedral, I think we'll be on our way.
All right.
Before we leave, we're kind of like, shaking hands and giving hugs and saying goodbye to our new friends and stuff. And
have fun storming the castle.
I have this tan bag that you guys gave me, and so I hold it out to one of them to give them a chance to grab something from inside the bag.
Do you have the table up for it?
Here, I can find it real quick.
Yeah, I can go see if I can find it.
All right, here, I'll take a picture of it. Post it in there. All right. Oh yeah, it might help if I get my dice near me.
Oh yeah, that's a good call. Actually, I should do this. Oh, I've got some right there. All right, I'm good.
All right, so
You
need
can-
D8.
You can pull these things out of the bag?
Yeah, as an action, you can pull one of the fuzzballs out of the bag.
That's awesome.
That's why I wanted Scraw to have it, because I expected them to show up at the weirdest times if he had them.
All right, that's D8.
So you're offering this
So-
to one of the guys at the Tall Pines Cathedral?
Yep.
Whoa, there's some things in this bag.
So, yeah, they reach their hand in and they pull out a little fuzzy ball, and let me see how long it takes for it to like actually change into something. So, you can throw it up to 20 feet. When the object lands, it transforms into the creature. The creature I got was a 5 on the die, which is a black bear. And so at some point, they're gonna put that thing down, and it is gonna turn into a black bear.
It's friendly towards you and your companions. So
I'm going to say Jared has no idea what this is. He just assumes it's more of Scraw's nonsense, and so he says, "How kind of you to give a gift. I'm glad we finally made friends with all these people."
Ah, damn it! Of course, this pen doesn't work.
Well, are you lads about ready to go?
yep.
Yeah.
Did you guys?
Ramsrush ready.
I'm gonna say if there are any stable people, they hitched up our horses and our big old carriage wagon, and Jared's was waiting outside, so all he has to do is clip in and everybody jump on board and off we go.
Where are the
Did you guys
dwarves?
read up that torch again?
You got some loud roommates. I missed that one.
Yeah, I know. Where are the dwarves?
Dwarves?
What?
Oh, we aren't with
We
the
were
Caravan
guarding
anymore.
dwarves.
Fine.
Oh, right.
You slept a long time, my friend.
But what? What? It's been like, what, 2 weeks? 1 week, 1 week, 2 weeks, 1 week.
Yeah.
What's time?
I don't know what was in those 2 bags you were eating, but they knocked you out good.
Okay. So,
Sure.
who we working for?
Now we are working
Oh.
for the fine people of this Pines Cathedral because they resurrected you. I mean, because they did us a favor.
Kid's just gonna look at you like
We
super
owe them.
suspiciously. Would you get? But you can't see him narrow his eyes because he's wearing these stupid big goggles on.
Scared now, so they got that shit.
Okay.
So the trip to get to the logging camp is not a hard one. They make being that they deliver regular supplies, the trail's pretty evident. It's a little snowed on, but it's there's no weeds there, nothing sticking up out of the snow. It's a clear trail, and we have pretty good setup for travel now. So you guys wanna let's see who's in charge? Who's riding the main wagon horse? Is it 2 horses? Did we say?
Oh, for the big carriage, it would at least need to be 2, possibly 4 for the big one.
All right, Hiram, why don't you roll an animal handling check? I'm assuming.
Well, I have my own little buggy.
Oh.
Scraw, would you like to drive the big one?
Scraw is in his nest that I believe is on the big carriage, the 20-foot long.
Oh yeah, who's driving the big one?
Nobody. Are you any good with animals, Kit?
Yeah, not particularly, but he can steer a ship, so hey, animals are probably fine.
See what happens. Roll the die.
Oh god, so Kit's got the reins of these. This 30-pound creature has the reins of these possibly 4 massive horses. This is gonna go swimmingly.
You need like a seatbelt on that bench.
That would be a 13 for animal handling.
All right. You're having some difficulty keeping them in line.
Whoa, literally no force.
They just don't like the rugged terrain. It's not a smooth trail. It's easy enough to follow, but it's pretty rickety and bumpy, and they're not a fan of the constant cold and the snow. But I'm gonna actually roll one. I have good animal handling check, and I got not much better. So I am no help. But along the way,
I'll roll one because I am driving.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
A buggy. 16.
Okay. Hiram's getting along pretty well, and we'll say he's up in the lead, blazing the trail, and that way we can follow behind. And it's getting about little past 2, 3 in the afternoon, and Jared says, "Ugh. Anybody else getting hungry?"
I could eat.
Yes. Ram's Rush too.
Let's see. What did you guys bring from the camp? Did anybody give us supplies? I don't even know.
We got
pretty sure we
supplies.
8 more supplies than we needed to yesterday.
Jared reaches into the bag that they gave him, and he just pulls out a handful of kush. Can you eat this stuff?
Shrug.
He pays the beer.
One moment.
People consume them in brownies. It'll have an effect on you if you just devour it, right?
I think
Yeah, it has an effect on you when you eat it. And
It's kind of a different
16
effect,
for
but-
knowledge nature.
referring to.
How much on nature? 16?
Yeah.
So you are savvy enough to know it will have an effect on me if I eat this stuff, but I say, well, I'm part horse. I'm sure I can handle it. At least in my, I don't know the anatomy, second or third stomach.
You won't feel it at first, but after 15 minutes, it will be worse than if you smoke it.
I'm going to just start gnawing on this wad of weed, and then I'll, if I get above a 10. Okay, I got an 18. I'm all right. We're cruising along. Everything's fine.
Can you eat this stuff?
Horses don't have 4 stomachs.
Around
Yeah, I was gonna say, wait, that didn't sound accurate to me.
Around evening time, we see a bridge off in the distance crossing a stream, and I'm going to send you guys a map.
Ooh, map.
We're getting fancy here.
What a beautiful waterfall. It's, inspiring.
It's a beautiful waterfall that's probably putting off a lot of cold mist because it's very cold here.
As we approach these two parallel bridges, we can see these tents off in the distance and that kind of log cabin or that tent surrounded by log walls. And then down the river, there is this big water wheel, and it is obviously powering something inside. And you can see some machinery kind of around the building, and you obviously assume it's saws and choppers and things of that nature. So across the bridges and kind of in front of the first two closest tents, you can see some people, but it's oddly still here. Everybody's sitting down, eating, playing instruments, chatting. Nobody seems to be working. What do you guys want to do?
They must have a lot of the weed up here too.
Jeez. So Kit's gonna try and try and steer the big carriage into the common place in the camp, and probably try and not bowl over any tents. But he's only 29 pounds and 8 strong, so we'll see how that goes.
That brings to mind, roll an animal handling check before you cross these double bridges.
Yeah, I was wondering if I could sneak that one past you. Apparently not. Yeah, that's a 2 + 1 for a 3.
Okay. You try to get the horses to cross, and they are absolutely refusing with the noise of the river and the rickety looking bridges. So Jared's gonna try to assist and coax them across. We'll see how I do.
I've got something if that doesn't quite work.
Okay, I rolled a 19. So he's gonna detach from his cart, take their reins, and kind of lead them step by step across these. And they're sturdy bridges. They're just kind of narrow, and the water is really rushing underneath them. But we managed to get the big cart across. Jared pulls his across, and let's see how Hiram does.
Okay. 18.
While this is all going on, Scraw is like sort of waving his hand around in front of his face, and then he looks disappointed because for the last week he's been nonstop like eating his own shrooms and like tripping balls, and now he's starting to build up a tolerance.
Build up a tolerance to his own mushrooms.
Yeah.
What a waste of a natural supply. Hiram, you don't have any trouble. You guys, we all get across this bridge, and let's make perception checks real quick.
Okay. Yikes.
Oof. Let me see what my modifier is.
6 + 1, 7.
And there's
9.
not that.
I got a dirty 20.
8 + 3, so only
I'm rolling well then.
Is the
Okay.
guy in the background annoying? Because I can switch room, but my mic might cut off from time to time.
It would certainly help with clarity.
Why don't you just give it a try, and if your mic's cutting out too bad, we'll just undo it.
All right, be right back.
So Hiram, everyone else is just kind of looking at their immediate surroundings, but you gaze off into the distance, and to the northwest, you spot some different looking kind of tents. They're bigger, they are fashioned differently. They actually look like a higher quality. They look like they're made better, and they've got like steam pipes and stuff. You could probably build fires inside of them, and you see that
So these are probably like North Face tents rather than Coleman.
yeah, totally. But you see that they look very vacant. There's some people in front of these basic tents on the east side, but there's nobody off in the distance in those other tents. What do you guys want to do?
See.
I'll tell you, the rest of you, you see the two closest gentlemen. One is in a green coat, one's in a blue coat, and they've got these fur hats, and they are just sitting and drinking beer and kind of playing cards around a little wood stump table.
Yeah, so I'm gonna park my buggy and walk over to the men playing cards.
Okay.
Right before he gets close enough to actually address them, I kind of stand up in my nest and then wave and yell hello in Draconic.
They look at you, but they clearly don't understand what you just said to them. One of them turns to Hiram.
I'm part horse.
The blue one turns to Hiram and he says, "How's it going, eh?"
Hello, gentlemen. It's a bit cold out here, don't you think?
Pretty normal for us, eh? But we like the cold. What you guys doing here? You bring us any beer?
Well, I do not believe we have any beer. I'll have to check with my associates.
The one in the green coat says, "Oh, geez, eh? We could use more beer."
However,
Oh, God.
we met some folks down at the Church of Sativa, and they sent us here to provide some assistance of sorts.
Oh, Church of Sativa, they got some more potent stuff than beer, I'd say. Like, we've been down there a couple times before we came up here, and honestly, I felt more relaxed down there, eh?
Yes, they do have a method of relaxation, don't they?
Hey, you guys come for some wood? Because we don't have a lot of wood up here, eh? We've been shut down a while.
Yes, they mentioned you were shut down. Oh, why is that?
Hello?
We can hear you.
We can hear you now.
Yeah, you're good.
Peace and quiet.
I see my thing is still, so that means that I probably make a background noise.
I don't hear any background noise.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
not hearing
sounds
that.
good.
Oh, you're saying it's constantly lit up?
Yeah. Oh, it's all right now.
Just like the people at the church.
Oh, jeez.
So the guy in the green coat says, "I don't know if we're supposed to talk about it, eh? If you want to know, if you got questions about our camp, you should go talk to our boss. He's over there in the log walls and the tents over there, eh?"
Thank you, gentlemen. And I walk over. To
Oh, hey,
the-
you better not
the
tell him
log.
about the Church of Sativa. He doesn't have much use for them, eh?
I see.
I ate
see.
you. As a Canadian, I have the right to say I ate you right now.
I knew you would.
So, this is a logging camp. I'm assuming somewhere here there's just probably like a woodcutter's axe just stuck in a log.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, Kit's just gonna go over there, just like try and pull it out and just stick it back in the log, and then pull it out and stick it back in the log.
Strength check.
Oh shit!
Kit's worst nightmare.
Yeah, Kit's. Oh my, Kit, please. That's a 3 - 1.
All right, hang on a second. Let me do it. You failed. You can't even budge this thing. You can get it to wiggle ever so slightly at the end, but it is in there tight.
Yeah, he's like.
Scraw runs up there and tries to do it.
Strength check.
Not much better. That's a 9 + 2, 11.
What do you mean? That's like 3 times better.
How are you doing that? Are you using your beak or what?
What, trying to get the axe out of the thing?
Yeah.
I would just use my hand like a normal person.
Wow, these are weird birds.
They don't have wings.
Well, they have, they don't have wings. They just have like talons for hands.
Well,
Like, feathered up until their elbow, and then the sort of forearm to hand area looks like a talon.
Kit's straining at this wood piece of handle and trying to get this thing out of there, and then Scraw walks up and just takes a hold of it, and ka-chunk, it pops out.
And
He does one of those things where he sees Kit straining, and so he expects it to be really tough, so he gives it a heavy jerk, and it turns out it comes out easier than he expected, and he kind of topples backwards a little bit, a few steps.
and I hand it to him, and I
Okay.
say in Jared's voice, "I expect it to be returned."
Yeah, as you hand it once again, it's the whole entire hands go.
You're headed to the tents in the log wall, Hiram?
Mm-hmm.
Rams rushes with him.
There's an obvious main tent, and it's got a light glowing from inside, and if you peek your head in, you notice a pretty burly dude, but he's not rugged burly. He doesn't have a gruff beard or anything. He's clean shaven. He almost looks more militarial. And he's got kind of a build like Gaston, where he's got the sleeves rolled up and his biceps bulging and everything.
I don't know who Gaston is, but
From-
okay.
From Beauty and the Beast.
Beauty and the Beast, the town bully with the gun.
No
I don't remember.
one.
Anyway, he's a burly dude.
Yeah.
Hello, sir. How are you today?
Strangers to our camp. What brings you all this way? I'm afraid we aren't supplying wood at the time. We've shut down for a while.
I see. Well, we were passing through, and the snow is heavy, and might we be of assistance? You say you want producing wood at the moment.
Not unless you're good at maybe if you knew a lot about the wilderness and you had a band of fighters with you, because I have a bad feeling that we're dealing with something that lives in those woods and it doesn't like our operation. It's all very strange, I'm afraid.
Well, you see, my reptilian friend here, he can fight just about anything, and we have several other friends with weapons, and I might not look like much, but I have a few tricks up my sleeve, and I create just a tiny little like purple ball of energy in my fingers as I do that.
Ah, magic users. You might get along well with our gnome friends. That's the problem, you see. Our machinery's been getting smashed and trashed left and right. We hired them on to create some gnomish inventions like only they can. You know how they're perfectionists and they come up with ingenious ideas, but with every one of them getting destroyed, they're about ready to pack up and leave. Maybe, I don't know, maybe you'd be better at communicating with them than I would. I really only know how to talk money, and they're more interested in, I guess you could say, the process of the job, the creativity, the ingenuity. I don't know. They're a strange bunch. Listen,
I see. Well,
if you guys could help us out, I would be happy to.
How do you talk to money?
we can find a way, Ramsrosh.
He gives Ramsrosh
what were
a
you
weird
saying?
look.
The kid's gonna just pull out a coin. It's really simple, Ramsrosh, like this. Hello, gold coin. Nice to see you.
I really only know how to talk money.
Please excuse my friend's social manners. They're good fighters, but that's about it.
Listen.
I
Normally
feel like
I
we should be-
normally I do things myself. It's far from the norm for me to ask perfect strangers to help us out. It's just that I'm up against a wall here. If I lose the gnomes, I don't have the expertise to build this kind of machinery, and if I can't keep this wood flowing, then we have, like I said, no money.
Now, you want me to speak with the gnomes, or would you rather I just address whatever is smashing the equipment?
Why don't we go down and take a look? Walk with me for a moment.
All right.
He stands up and he marches out of the tent and he starts heading towards the fancy tents, and for the first time you other people in the group besides Hiram notice that these are out there in the corner and that they're kind of vacant looking. He says, the gnomes they're not actually there. They live out in the woods, but we don't know their whereabouts. I have to call them in anytime I want to talk to them. Where'd you guys come from anyway?
Oh, what's the name of the city?
East,
Crystal Cliff?
west. Sorry.
It's a secret.
Previously, we were in Crystal Cliff, but we get around.
Crystal Cliff. You're passing through our logging camp? He looks at you kind of suspiciously.
Oh, we go many places. I'd call ourselves some adventures of a sort.
Roll a deception, Hiram.
Okay. I think that's actually something I'm good at. Let me check. Deception. Oh yeah. Okay. So 10, 15.
He absolutely believes you once you tell him that. He says, "Oh, small world, I suppose." So where are you guys headed that you would pass by us? Are you going to one of the other big cities? I notice your wagons. I assumed you must be traders. Traders, mind you,
Yes.
not traitors.
Yes. All right. So Brian, on this map, on the larger map, where are we in comparison to the Tall Pines Cathedral?
So you are currently at that bridge to the northeast.
Okay, so that's just on the edge of the trees there.
Yep.
Yes, we might go up to Clearwater or Ripon. We're not sure yet.
Interesting. Well, while you're here, I might be interested in looking at some of your trade goods, see if there's anything we can do. I've just, with these gnomes here, I've got some interesting things you've probably never seen before. And he reaches behind his back and he pulls out these 2 saw blades that they're like tonfas. He's got a handle, and then the blade runs along the underside of his forearms, and they're serrated. They're both serrated. He's got 2 of them, and he says, "These are my war saws. Never seen their equal."
Are they from Poland?
Oh, do they work?
Well, it takes a little bit of knowing how to do some martial arts and training, but basically they work like this. And he starts swinging them around with some impressive precision, and you all kind of step back as he's wailing these saws around, and then he says, "On top of that, if you've got like a violin bow, you can play them like an instrument." I'm not much for music myself. As you guys approach the tents,
Oh.
he puts his saws away and he pulls out kind of what looks like kind of like a dog whistle, and he blows it, and a high-pitched ringing kind of echoes through the trees, and he says, "So far, this only calls the gnomes, but there's something about that machinery down there. When it gets running, whatever this thing is comes a-calling."
Magic.
Okay.
Well, perhaps we might be able to remove whatever the beast is.
So
So
we
yes,
started it, and it's gone.
Started what?
The machine that they come and destroy.
We may have to get this thing, to investigate this thing, but I'm not looking forward to it. He blows the whistle again, and another piercing, shrill whistle goes out through the trees. And then you see
Straw,
these...
memorizes the whistle sound. So you guys can hear.
From within the trees, you see the silhouette of one figure, and it's... How tall are you, Kit?
2'7".
It's about double the size of Kit. So not tall, but he probably would think it's tall.
Yeah, everything's tall to Kit.
But
So they're 5 foot. So they're not really gnomes.
well, this one's probably a 4-footer, but he comes out with a really tall hat on, and it looks a little bit like Jared Banatman's.
Oh, jeez.
He comes marching out and he says, "Strangers, is it?"
hello, sir. I am Hiram, and these are my associates.
Wait, what?
Apparently,
I suppose.
apparently we are the Hiram Caravan now. And Jared kind of gives him a disdainful look.
Well, I was the one that approached them first, so unless, or would you rather do the talking, Jared?
No.
Wondering if they're tasty.
No eating anyone yet, Ramsrosh. There will be plenty of time for that later.
I could eat.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
He doesn't say it out loud, just looks at them over, and
Oh, never mind.
you have a curious look about him. And since you all know he only thinks about one thing, you can only guess what he's curious about.
Woof.
Body Knock Baron's the name, and I... Oh, look at you. He looks over at Jared. Not in all my days would I imagine finding a fellow wizard in this camp. And Jared looks a little bit timid for the first time, and he kind of takes a step back and he goes, "Oh, yes, fellow wizard."
Tell me.
Magic user.
Magic, yes. Magic's the game, Body Knock's the name. Tell me, Mr. Wizard, who did you study under? I may know him. I've been around a while. And Jared says, self-taught. And he takes another step back and he says, Hiram, why don't you take this one?
Are you sure? I feel like
Absolutely.
wizard
Go
talk.
right ahead.
All right. And Hiram does a little bow and extends his hand to shake hands with the little gnome man.
Whoa, Tim's here.
Yeah, Tim's been here for like.
I've been here for a long time.
I'm so nervous now.
Why?
Because this is your game. So,
Not a big deal. I actually sent you a message asking you if you wanted me to just roll up a PC and you could finish this this session.
if you want
Look at me. I'm the dungeon master now.
to. It's too bad you can't be the big new. Yeah. So, the foreman never told you his name. He says, "Oh, since we're introducing ourselves, by the way, my name's Jacob J. Cobb. Listen, Body Knock."
Singing this apart. Come on.
Body Knock, these men say that they can help out with the incident we've been dealing with.
Oh, you're here for that, eh? Well, we were about ready to pack up and leave, so it's good timing on your part. Let me show you what we're dealing with. I hope you're a brave bunch.
Some of us more than others.
Kit just side eyes Jared.
Jared looks down at his
I have a
hoofs.
feeling about something that lives in the woods.
Yes, the woods. Well, we haven't quite identified it yet. It tends to surprise us, catch us off guard, but there's a surefire way to show you what we're dealing with.
You guys walk down to this pretty large building with this big old wheel in the water, and he opens kind of a garage door, which is quite a novelty for this day and age. It's pretty inventive. It slides open, and inside, as well as around the building, you see, again, what you'd expect. Big saws, big choppers, big devices, but pretty impressive in ingenuity.
Yeah.
After I hear him whistle that, I do the high-pitched whistle.
Hey, easy with that whistle, Jacob. Some of my crew was sleeping down in the caves. You're fortunate I heard you. There's just not much going on here, I'm afraid.
He dusts off some of the equipment, and then he reaches for a big old lever. It's almost more than he can manage on his own, but he gives it a tug with all of his might, and you hear this ka-chung, and these gears clicking into place, and things start to move. And you see where the the water wheel is. One of the gears moves into place of that, and everything starts to groan and spin slowly, and then the place just comes alive. It's almost like when you turn on the lights of a theme park or something.
This is what we got going on. Everything was going swimmingly. We had a great operation here until that thing came along. I'd stand back from that. Some of these saws are pretty sharp.
Yeah,
Impressive.
Kit promptly hops back as he was most definitely too close.
It's kind of noisy in here. You guys kind of have to shout above the mechanics.
Because of the noise, Ramsrush is going to go out. He doesn't like it.
Beyond the heavy, resounding clunks and groans and turning of these gears, the whole building is stable, but it's kind of rattling. Some of the windows are rattling. You feel the ground kind of vibrating a little bit. This whole operation is like one big just. It's really making a impression on you guys.
What sort of beast?
I reckon that it probably won't be more than 10 minutes. I think we should probably stand back. We've actually never tried this before intentionally because this is some expensive equipment, but if you guys are serious, I guess this is the only way.
All right. I got a question.
Well, let's talk out here.
He starts walking out towards the tents again.
What is it?
So, you cut down these trees for logs, right?
I?
Do you have sustainable tree practices?
Oh my. Not now, Kit. Not now. Have enough of the hippies for one day.
He gives kind of a nervous glance over at the foreman, and then he says, "Of course we do."
Insight check.
You guys come for some wood?
Let's see what that is. That's a 16 plus 3, 19.
You definitely know he's lying.
Oh shit! So
They're
when I
gonna-
created
They're gonna strip this forest bare.
when I created Kit, his bond on his character sheet is an injury to the unspoiled wilderness of my home is an injury to me.
Uh-oh.
Kit might sit this fight out. I just go, uh-huh. I see.
Yep, regular conservationalist. Now, if you'll just watch the building over there, I'm sure we'll see something sooner or later.
Sound, yes. It's good. It just Kit turns around and you see he's got like schemy fingers.
You guys should roll perception checks.
All right, that's a little bit better than last time. 19.
Nice.
13.
14 plus 1, 15.
So
Rip
I would
Rex?
have definitely seen
19.
Kit do the schemy fingers, right?
Yeah, sure. He can't because my back is turned to him, but everybody else certainly can. I'm sure.
Yeah, so I see you do that, and then I leer at that guy.
What'd you get, Rip Rex?
19.
All right. Everybody who got above a 15, you notice some of the workers coming from around the tents, staring with wonder and nervousness towards this building, and they're kind of gathering around behind you in a group. And everybody who got above an 18, you look over and see the tops of some of the trees wiggle in the distant forest.
Now, based on our experience with this machine running, we should see something soon. Bob and Doug over there, they were working one day and they said they turned around and one of the pieces of machinery had just been smashed to bits and had kind of caved in, like sunken into the ground. You can actually see it over there. We cleaned it up a little bit, but it's still kind of sunken in over there. I don't think it's going to be long now.
Ramsrush is gonna put himself between the forest moving and the building.
Okay.
I don't know if I would stand there if I were you.
Gets his shield out and his mace.
Everybody roll me one more perception check.
Yeah.
Natural
As
20.
oh jeez. 3 plus 1,
11.
4.
Did anybody give it above an 18?
Yeah, I got a natural 20.
Oh, nice. Okay. Scraw, everybody's staring at this machine kind of expectantly, especially they're watching as Ramsrosh is positioning himself between the building and the forest. But for whatever reason, you happen to just look behind you for just a moment, and there's an explosion of snow and dirt, and one of the workers gets yanked down underground, and he screams, "Ah!" And that cat grabs everybody else's attention, but you're the only one that actually saw it happen.
So, like, the explosion of snow and dirt, did it, like, come from the ground?
Yes, it was like an eruption.
Okay, so we got a Tremors situation going on here. Let's see.
Yes.
I have a bad feeling about something that lives in the woods, but I point down at the ground.
What in blazes was that?
Jared spins around in a panic, and he pulls out his quarterstaff.
Well, boys, I think we found it.
enthusiastically down there.
Or rather, I think it found us.
As I'm pointing exuberantly down there, I'm like, magic user.
The entirety of the camp goes charging anywhere they can to get away from it, mostly to their tents, but they don't really take residence in their tents. They're kind of running to hide in the trees and hide behind things. And you see this tremor in the ground. It's almost a Bugs Bunny situation. You see dirt piling up and splitting as it makes its way underground, and it kind of goes around to the east. It's sort of between you guys and the nearest basic tent. And then suddenly, there's another explosion of snow and dirt, and this thing leaps out of the ground, lands in front of you, and you see... everybody roll me... I think nature checks.
Well, what?
Nature checks?
Oh, okay. 15 plus 4. 19. Dirty 19.
I've got a 19 minus 1. It's 18.
I got a 3.
Titus has a 5.
Okay. That's great.
Did you say Titus?
Yep.
Tight ass.
Tight ass.
Give me just a second. Everybody above a 15, you see this pop out of the ground.
Yes.
And you all see it pop out of the ground, but everybody above a 15 knows what it is.
All right.
It's my favorite.
Uh-oh.
Time to roll initiative.
Scraw says, part horse.
That's it, just part horse.
I got a 6 for initiative.
Got a 12 for Kip.
11.
Titus also got an 11, but I only have a +1 on my dexterity.
Okay.
So I don't know what you have, Hiram.
I have a +2.
Okay, so Hiram is before me then.
I'm sorry, Tim. Tell me your character name one more time.
Titus.
Kit Scraw. I don't have Rams Rush.
19. Sorry.
I'm going to have. Tim, do you think you guys can take this, or should I have my two NPCs fight it as well? What do you think?
That's up to you, my man.
Oh, I don't know how hard or easy this thing is. You guys were the ones that
There's
volunteered.
a lot of us, and it has very little action economy.
Yeah,
So,
we have way
you know.
more actions than it does.
You guys were the ones that volunteered to take this thing on, so I think my NPCs are going to stand back and watch until if things start to go south, they might step in, but otherwise it's you guys.
I think that's a great idea.
Rams Rush. Oh, I got to roll for my monster. Hold on one sec. Do monsters normally have initiative bonuses?
It'll be
Their
his
dex
dexterity
bonus.
bonus.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, it's just Dex.
Take it away, Rams Rush.
Right. Ramsrosh is gonna start the fight by casting
Wait, what?
Missile.
I'm going to let you guys know this thing is, let me look at my map. This thing is currently 40 feet away from you to the east.
Okay. She's gonna start by casting Magic Missile at that creature.
Okay.
So 11 damage. He's gonna move up 30 feet
Okay.
with his shield in his hand and his other.
That thing
Ram's
automatically
Rush can
hits, or do you have to roll in?
spells now? Oh yeah, it's an auto hit.
Auto hit, okay. You said 11 damage?
Yes. The DR though, there's 3 different. If it resists force damage, which I don't think anything does. Tell you the individual damage too. The first missile dealt 4 damage, the second 5, and the third one 2.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's a good Jared spell if I've ever seen one.
Yep.
Tell
Just
me
always hits.
Tell me the total one more time. I was writing something.
11.
Gotcha.
It's 11. 11 in total.
Is it 11?
Yes.
All right. Next up, we have.
It's 10 plus 1.
Where did you move to, Rams Rush?
My
feet
full
up?
movement, so 30 feet. Yeah.
You're just running towards it?
Yeah.
Cool.
It's Ramsrush.
Yes, I say this is Rams Rush. What'd you expect?
It's a battle.
It's a giant donut.
Every Brian character is like, wait a second, you can run towards an enemy? Let me check the rule book real quick, because I don't think that's a legal move.
Kit's up next.
Oh shit! All right. All right. Rams Rush is charging again, so Kit's not gonna leave Rams Rush behind again. So Kit's gonna have to come up with some other way to mess with this logging camp. So yeah, he's gonna just run up and be side by side with Rams Rush, but not do anything else, other than have his rapier and shield out at full size, fully expanded.
Okay. What are you gonna do, Hiram?
Yes, I'm casting Mage Armor on myself, And I'm retreating 30 feet.
Oh, sorry. And I also want to take the dodge action since I have an action I didn't use. My bad.
Okay.
We're inside the that building still, right?
So
Wait,
you
I
Duck
thought we went
outside.
outside.
Yeah, you guys went north of the building trying to stand back and watch what happens.
Oh, I see. Okay.
All right. Hiram steps back and casts Mage Armor.
On myself.
Next up, we have Titus.
All right, so Titus is gonna start looking around like really nervously, and he's gonna like just sweat profusely. Like
So,
you can tell that Titus's anxiety is just through the fucking roof right now, and he's probably just going to shake there in panic for a little bit. And that'll be my turn.
so what's Titus's description?
What the hell, Titus?
Oh, Titus is huge, and he's carrying a big ass axe on his back. But basically, all the interactions that you guys have had with him is he's very meek, and he doesn't do well in situations that involve pressure or communicating with people or really anything that like. And he kind of has a tendency to lash out when the anxiety is built up to a certain point,
Oh.
and so we'll see if we get there.
What race is Titus?
He's a human.
Okay, gotcha.
So it's the barbarian, the anxious barbarian. Got it.
Yes, the anxious barbarian. Yes.
What are you doing, Bulette?
Well, I was gonna attack the closest person in front of me.
Oh shit, that's either Kit or Ramsrosh.
Now, Kit, did you go right up next to him?
Yeah, Kit kept pace.
Okay. I'm going to roll for it.
I'm taking the dodge action. It should be fine.
3 or 4 is Ramsrush. Oh, he's going after Kit.
Okay, so you have disadvantage on your attack since I have the dodge action, and the AC is 22 with the fully expanded shield.
All right, we'll see what he does.
Wow.
He's going to attempt to bite you, and he rolls a 10. He rolls a 17, and he got
Nope.
no
Disadvantage.
disadvantage. He's gonna he had to go 10 feet to do that, so he is adjacent to you guys. And next up, we have Jared, who is going to. I don't know if I have quite range. Let me see here. Oh, yeah, I do. He's going to try and cast Scorching Ray.
Roll less than a 5. Roll less than a 5. Right.
I have to make a ranged spell attack for each ray, and it shoots 3 of them, so there's a good chance.
Roll less than a 5. Roll less than a 5.
First one was a 17. That's a hit. The second one was a... Oh, hold on. Spell attack. So I got to add my spell attack, which is a 1.
No, you rolled less than a 5, didn't you? That was the rule.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure if that... Okay. So
So now you got to roll a D100. Let me pull out the wild magic table.
Oh,
It-
God.
If you want, it's pinned in the chat.
I've already got it.
I saw this coming. The third one was a...
Well, we should see what happens with the wild magic before you do the third one.
All right, just
Because that could change a lot.
I'm just writing them down for, and then
Jolly Ranchers rain from the sky.
I'm just waiting for potted plants.
his DC is that's a 17. DC. Oh, I'm not rolling against anything. Oh no, I'm rolling
Yeah.
against.
AC.
Oh, his AC.
Yep.
None of them hit, but there's going to be wild magic cast. So I just got to roll a D100.
Yep.
Oh, boy.
Hold on, guys, I've got this.
7 or 8.
He fires 3 blasts at once, and 2 of them just miss completely, and one of them does. A 39 of wild magic.
39. You regain 2d10 hit points.
Nice.
So nothing happened.
There's a weird glow around Jared, and he says,
Wait, what the hell?
he looks pretty good, actually. I think I was full health. We had a long rest, so.
I was really hoping for all your hair to fall out.
Ransrosh, you are right next to this behemoth and also Kit. What would you like to do?
The only thing Ramsrush can think of doing. Smashing it.
Kit's diplomacy won't work now.
The AC is 17 natural armor.
I miss.
Okay.
This thing's gonna be a son of a bitch.
Your next, Kit.
All right, let's take advantage of those pack tactics and see if I can hit this thing. Let's see. So as a rapier, let's see, 17 plus 4 or natural 20. So that's also gonna get a smite, which means I'm going to deal 3d8 plus 3 times 2. Let me get all of these d8s out. I don't know why I was not ready for smite. So yeah, Kit's just because he's like, yeah, this was gonna work, and then he's like, never mind, we're attacking this thing. This is the plan now, I guess. And I still don't have my d8s. Where's my other one? There it is. Got all 3. Boom. 8, 9, 10 plus 3 is 13, 26 damage. With just getting that rapier in somewhere between those plates, and then, detonating some divine energy in there.
He roars at you and staggers back a smidge, and he looks really mad. But next turn is Wesley's, or Hiram.
Okay.
Can you tell me that damage one more time?
The total on that?
Yes.
That'd be 26.
Cool.
Yeah, Kit doesn't mess around.
Yeah, this thing is reeling from that attack, and he's very angry.
Is everyone still? Oh. I'm an idiot.
Definitely himself. What you doing, Hiram? How far back did you walk, Hiram?
30 feet.
Cool. So you are 70 away from him? Oh, he moved up forward. He moved 10 feet, so you're 60 away from him.
Okay, well, that's still within my range for Eldritch Blast, so I'm going to cast that, and that's a dirty 20, and damage 7. I hit it for 7.
Nice. It's already reeling from...
Already back around Hiram again?
Yes, sir.
I got skipped.
You did skip Scraw, actually.
Oh, oops.
Oh, shit. I didn't even... I redid my list to get it all in order, and I forgot to put you. So I think that Scraw should probably take a couple moves.
Well, I had gotten a 6, so
You were...
after.
What is your dexterity?
My dexterity.
Or is it your modifier? It's I gotta compare you to this monster.
Yeah. It's a +3.
Okay, so you're actually before the boulette.
Okay. But it's okay. I wasn't gonna do anything that would have. Well, actually, it hit. Never mind. Okay, I'll just do this. Fairy fire on it.
Okay.
And what that does is concentration up to a minute. Each object in a 20-foot cube, basically I put it around that thing of my choice. I'm going to have it glow in like a sort of green light, and it's like faintly outlined. It has to make a dexterity saving throw.
Okay. Hiram, I actually got distracted and I didn't write down your damage. Do you remember that?
7.
7. All right, dexterity saving throw. That's an 18.
Ooh, that's probably going to beat my DC. Yes, it does. So, let me go back to how the spell reads. So, it is still outlined in the green. Oh, wait, no, that's object. So, never mind. Then nothing happens to it.
Okay. Then I'm going to take
And for my bonus action, I'm going to cast Shillelagh on my club. And so, like, all these sort of twisting and thorny vines spread around it and everything.
You can only cast one spell. Is Shillelagh and...
Shillelagh is a cantrip.
Yeah, Shillelagh is a cantrip. He can do that.
Yep.
You can cast one leveled spell and one cantrip.
You can cast as many cantrips as you want in a turn. Only one leveled spell.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So is it still good or no?
Yeah, you're fine.
Okay, yeah, and so after I cast Shillelagh, I go up into the fray with Kit and Ram's Rush.
Okay. So I'm taking the 7 damage from Hiram, and then that brings us to Titus.
Yeah, he hasn't had enough of a reason to go into a rage yet, so he's still just sweating and kind of looking around nervously, and like he doesn't even have his axe hefted. He's just kind of like playing with the leather that makes up the handle of it, like just kind of picking at it and shit. Like the axe is completely on the ground, but and that'll be my turn.
You picked a fun character to play. Titus. So I'm going to give you another turn, Scraw, since it really is your turn.
Oh, okay, so this time, since I'm right up next to it, I will... I'm going to I'm gonna swing at it with my club, my Shillelagh club. And it's right up on us since it attacked Kit, right?
Oh yeah.
So I don't even have to move. Okay.
And it's a large monstrosity, so it's just looming above you.
Oh wait, it's large.
Right.
Oh. Where is it?
So let's see. That's probably not gonna hit a 12.
No, it doesn't hit.
Oh wait, that would have been plus my proficiency too, so 14.
Not
And
enough.
that's probably still not gonna hit. Yeah. Okay. And with my bonus action, I'm going to use my druid craft to make a wind kind of blow around my body and kind of like make my feathers on the back of my head kind of flutter around like really awesomely.
All right.
Great use.
This thing's bleeding pretty bad in its underside where Kit laid into him between his scales, and
I'm sure it's its best friend.
yeah. Can this monster make an action to disengage from these 3 without taking a hit? Is that how that works?
Just standard combat action. I would think so.
Yep,
Yeah.
anything can do it.
Yeah.
Okay. He's going to disengage.
Also, don't forget that it has a burrow speed, my friend.
I noticed that. I think it's the same though. Hold on, let me double check.
Yeah, but it's underground. Can't really stab it
But
underground.
yeah, exactly. So, but yes, it's
Yeah.
40 feet, just like it's moving.
Okay.
And burrows aren't nearly as fast as horses.
Oh my god.
This creature bites Scraw. No, he disengages and he's going to burrow underneath your feet, and you kind of get Bugs Bunnied under your feet, but you all maintain your balance and everything. He just goes under you and he heads towards Hiram and Titus. Now, Titus, you haven't moved anywhere, have you? You're only 30 feet away?
But I've been twitching and making a lot of noise and stuff for sure.
Okay, but you haven't run. So you're still 30 feet. So he's coming right
Yeah,
for
I'm
you.
exactly in the same spot. Yep.
Damn it, Titus.
This thing explodes from the ground and showers you in bits of dirt and debris and puffs and powder of snow. And it's mad and it growls and there's just spittle hitting you in the face.
Does any of it hit me?
Some of the debris and
Like,
stuff
is that
does.
like enough that would cause like a little bit, like even a minor amount of pain?
It doesn't hurt. Maybe some of the rocks and things would sting your face, if that matters.
Dope. Okay.
You don't
Yep,
take
it
damage.
does.
You don't take damage for it.
Nope. It matters. We're good.
Okay. That's all he can do, right? He disengages and moves. That's
Yep,
an
Yeah,
action.
I
it.
don't. Yeah.
So
'Cause
Jared
He doesn't have any bonus actions.
hasn't moved either. So this is. Oh no, he did move. He moved forward 10 feet, I think. So he's 10 feet away. Scorching ray. I'm going to try this one more time. Jared casts Scorching Ray.
Oh boy.
That's a miss. That's a. Who ties in a draw? Or who wins in a draw?
The attacker.
Okay, so he hits. And and he rolls below a 5. So that first hit deals 2d6. Oh. No, I didn't cast it as a third level. 2d6 fire damage. That's 5.
Oh, okay.
Okay. You got that table, Tim?
Yep, I'm ready whenever you are, sir.
At the very end, there's another fizzle and a pop, and he
Big money, no whammies.
casts 29 wild magic.
29. You teleport up to 60 feet into an unoccupied space of your choice that you can see.
I'm going to say that he doesn't actually know. He doesn't actually know where he's going to go, and he ends up right next to. He ends up right next to the group, next to Kit and Ramsrosh and Scraw. And it's like there's like a Nightcrawler Bamf with puffy dark smoke, and he goes, "What the?
Yeah.
Ah!
Just jumps.
Did you see that move? I call that my blast
Small world, I
and
suppose.
my blast and poof. I don't call it that. I don't call it my blast and poof. What do you want to do, Ramsrosh?
Well, there's a monster that tried to ignore me. I take that as a personal insult.
He's 30 feet away
So-
with his back facing you.
I'm gonna smash it in the back. That's gonna teach it. It's right. Hello?
19 damage?
It.
19 to hit. You got him.
For 6 damage.
Okay.
And I'm gonna take my bonus action to bite it. That's gonna miss. All right.
What is your weapon?
It's armor.
A warhammer?
Yeah, made out of the bone of something.
So you bring this thing, you run up and you maybe you do one of those classic action movie jump in the air, kind of a Thor bringing his hammer thing down, and you smash this thing right in the back plates, and you see them kind of crack and start to splinter, and this thing topples over, and then it stands up and looks back at you and roars. And next up is Kit.
Woo! Chase it down, pack tactics. Because still 30 feet away. That's a movement and a stab.
Buddies.
That's good thing I got advantage. Doesn't matter, because I only got a grand total of 10.
Swing and a miss.
There's a tink tink, can't find the spot.
Hiram?
Yeah, it's too high for you to hit the same spot. I'm sorry.
Did you say me?
Yes, sir.
How far away is the creature now from me?
Let's see. You were 60, and then he charged towards Tim, so he is currently 30 feet away.
30 feet. I'm going to cast Charm Person on Titus.
Okay.
Why?
He's
Because
already
you're being a
Why?
coward right now, okay?
he's already your friend.
So, 17.
Well, you don't roll for that. I roll for that.
Oh,
What's your wisdom?
What
or
is
your
it, a
spell
wisdom?
DC?
it's, let's see.
I should say spell DC above your powers. Above your spells.
What kind of save it is, it's in the description of
I
this.
thought it was charisma. I'm looking
Yeah,
other.
it should be your charisma plus your proficiency plus 8.
And
Yeah, it's a wisdom saving throw.
wisdom saving throw.
Or
What's the DC? I got a 14.
DC is 13. Damn it.
Ah.
I don't add anything to the DC. No, yeah, it's just.
No, you don't.
Okay. Well,
Can't.
then I'm just gonna run my 30 feet away, just away from the monster.
Okay, you try to convince Titus to be brave, but he is kind of out of his head right now after getting hit with all that debris. And incidentally, what are you doing, Titus? Oh, tell me how far did you run away, Wesley?
30 feet.
Okay, so you're 60 right now. All right, what do you do, Titus?
So Titus is gonna look at this thing and he's gonna go, my mom says it's not nice to spit at people, and he's gonna pick up his axe and enter into a frenzied rage.
Oh shit!
And fucking swing at this thing as hard as he can twice, because I can use my bonus action for an attack as well. The first one is a 15 plus a lot. So that's a 21 on the first attack. And the second one is a 12 plus 6, so that's an 18 on the second one. So they're both going to hit. And the first one is going to deal So 9 plus 6 is 15 on the first hit. And 4 plus 6 is 10 on the second. You remember when you were making fun of my character earlier, Brian? I love Titus, and you can't change my mind.
So this Bulette monster is growling at the people behind him, the two lizards behind him, and you go into a rage and scream at him about your mother, of all things. And he turns to face you, and immediately, what is your weapon of choice?
It's a great axe. It's just a big fucking axe.
This thing takes him and connects right into his jaw, and he is absolutely caught off guard. And his head lurches to the side, and he growls. And you can see his jaw kind of starts to dangle a little bit, and he's bleeding profusely. And there's been so much blood leaking out of his plates where Kit had got him before, and he is starting to look really off. Like he can't seem to focus, and he's giving some wild swings, and he is going to become a victim of Scraw. What do you want to do, Scraw?
All right. Scraw will. How far away am I from it?
30 feet. He's got his
All right,
back towards you.
Yeah, I'm gonna run up and make another swing with my shillelagh. And that's not gonna hit because that's a 2 on the die. And with my bonus action, I'm gonna make, like, when I land from missing him and the club strikes the ground, I'm gonna have the druidcraft show like a bunch of like leaves just like burst away from where it hit the ground and everything. Like it was a really thundery boom or whatever, but all anybody sees is like the leaves fly away.
Okay. You come at this thing, and when you hit it with your shillelagh and it goes tink, he turns all his attention.
Well, I was just assuming I missed it completely.
Okay, well, he's.
But as I hit the ground and I do the thing with the leaves, I do say in Jared's voice, blast and poof.
He's at the point now where he's just growling at anything that that has his attention, like whatever makes a sound, whatever moves. He's just spinning around, growling wildly. And so I'm going to roll between the four of you. Let's see. I'll go top to bottom, 1 to 4. So whoever's in the Discord in order.
Attack me, you coward.
Whoops, that's not deep. I rolled a 1, so he is attacking Titus. He's just
Armor
gonna...
class 14.
All right.
Man, it's the first attack the bullet does.
We'll succeed at. I tried to get Kit.
As the thing's about to lunge for Titus, I say in that gnome's voice, I don't know if I'd stand there if I were you.
This thing has a couple different actions. Can it just do an unarmed attack? Is that a...
Yeah, it's got one for sure.
I should have like a.
Yeah, it's gonna be
That's
the
a
bite
bite
attack, or a claw or something.
Okay.
Hold on, I'll look for you real quick. Give me 2 seconds. Sorry.
Sure.
So yeah, it's got a bite attack. It's right at the top over the deadly leap thing.
I'm gonna use the bite attack, but I kind of insinuated that his jaw's looking pretty rough, so I'm gonna flavor it as a swipe attack with his claws.
That's fine.
That is a 15. +7 to hit. so
I didn't hear what the roll was, but I'm assuming it's enough.
yeah, 15 plus 7 to hit. He's going to do 4d12 plus 4.
What?
He's raging.
Right.
He'll only take half of it.
Right. And I'm not going to be playing this character ever again, so it doesn't really matter.
Attack me, you coward. Oh, I see.
All right, let's see what we got here. That's a 5.
Just wait. Gentle repose from Scrawl will keep you alive.
Not so fast. This morning when I prepared my spells for the day, I did not prepare gentle repose.
Rip.
I was like, we got Rams Rush back. We're good.
Titus, this thing does a super wild swing with his claw and hits you for 28 damage.
All right, so 14.
You can take another one like that just fine, right?
Oh yeah, I can actually. I can take 2 of them like that just fine.
Good lord.
What? Holy shit.
No, that's not true. I can take another one like that, but I can't take 2 of them.
14, yeah, I could only take 3 of them total, too.
Jesus. Actually, how many could Kit take? Yeah, only one, and then he'd be done. Actually, no, he would be. Oh shit, he actually wouldn't survive that. That's all his HP. That's one whole kit. That's more than one whole kit.
Oh yeah, definitely one swipe from that thing would have killed Scraw.
The 28, the full 28, yeah, only 2 hit on the rush.
Jared casts Witch Bolt, and he misses. So that brings us back to Ramsey.
Not unlimited power, young Skywalker, apparently.
Ramsey's gonna try to hit the target again with his warmer.
All right.
Oh, not 41 d20. 1 d20.
41.
That'd be a bit much.
And I'm gonna miss.
This thing's flailing around so much and spinning in circles and swiping at stuff that it's kind of hard to get a beat on where he's going to be. Let's see if
Use
you
my
can...
action surge to do another attack.
Right on. Is that like a once between rests type of a power or something like that?
Yeah, long rest.
Yes,
Yep.
it is. Even worse. So I'm not.
Jesus.
Rest in pepperonis, my friend.
Perhaps you assume he's an easy mark and you just don't give it your total focus. Let's see if you can hit him. Kit, what do you want to do?
Let's see. Well, since once again I've got advantage because I got a pack with me, apparently.
Yeah.
This is the old. We are a team. That's a 2, so let's try again for pack tactics. Then that's a 7. Wonderful. Never mind.
Creepers, guys.
That's a total of 11. So that's a miss on Kit's part. He starts out with a crit and can't hit shit anything else.
Start with a crit and you can't hit shit.
Hiram, can you take this thing down?
Yes, so I'm going to pull out my wand of magic missiles, and I'm going to expend. Let's see, it has a total of 7 charges, and I use 3 charges, and each charge has 3 darts. So.
Use 3 charge at a time? Pretty sure it's 1 at a
No,
time.
you definitely can't do that.
No.
No, it has a total of 7 uses.
You
Right.
cast it at a higher level spell, so you're not adding darts per level. You're only adding 1 more dart per level above first.
Right.
So
what you would be doing is
3
you'd be
uses
doing,
would be 3
5
darts.
No, it'd be 5 darts if you do
Yeah.
3 uses.
I'm sorry.
I was just letting you
Um,
know that it's not going to be 9 darts. Like, that's just not how it works. That's all.
I see. So 3 each dart.
Still alive.
Let's see how you fare.
I mean, it's
Okay, so the spell creates 1 more dart for each slot. Okay. So, yeah. So if I did 3 charges, that's 4 darts?
5d4.
5d4
5.
plus, well, if you want to do the easy math, plus 5.
All right, so 5, 10,
Yoy.
12 plus 5. I rolled 5 d4s to get 12.
Yeah, then plus 5.
That's
And plus 5.
17
Yep.
total.
So 17.
So 17.
It's a chunky hit.
You're not rolling an attack for those, right?
That's guaranteed damage.
No, it's not.
So- So
Yep.
you got
Magic
17. What total is 17?
I think so.
Yes, correct.
So these things, I'm gonna let you do this, Hiram. Tell us what happens.
So I wave the wand around, let's say 3 or 4 times, and these darts just shoot out from the tip of the wand and circle around it, and then start pegging it one by one by one. And it's impaled by these darts.
Okay.
As soon as that gets done, Titus is going to still be raging. He's going to walk over and he's going to grab Hiram by the throat, and I need him to make an athletics check to try and get away from this grapple.
Holy
No,
shit.
he can also use
Jesus.
acrobatics since he's the target.
Oh, that's fine. That's true.
So
Acrobatic?
Acrobatics is probably your better stat, would be my guess.
Well, that's a 17 plus 6, so that's a 23. Good luck.
I got a 12 plus, so 14. Yeah.
Okay, so Titus is just going to pick you up in the air, watch you dangle for a second, and say, "My mama says that if you cast spells on people, we get to break your neck." And he sets you back down, and then like starts to breathe like kind of heavily again, and he starts to kind of return to normal, and like his veins are no longer kind of bulging out, and he then looks at you, Hiram, and goes, I'm really sorry about that.
The monster gets hit with these missiles, and they pierce, and he's already looking bad anyway, and his jaw isn't working right, and he slowly starts to tip over with each hit until he's off balance, and then he crashes to the ground and kind of rolls onto his back plates with his tummy in the air, and his I don't know if they have a tongue, but if they have a tongue, it just kind of lolls out to the side. And all the miners and all the loggers in the camp come out from behind their tents and from behind the trees, and they're like, "Woo, woo, woo, yeah!" And then Titus goes after Hiram, and they all just stop and stare, and they're like, "What the fuck is going on?" Hold on.
And then Hiram pisses himself and then passes out.
Okay,
When
after-
Straw sees all the woodsmen come out and stuff and start running to the area, like he does the druid craft again and has the leaves blow around and swirl around him and everything. And he takes his club and kind of slings it over his shoulder, and then takes his other empty hand and kind of runs it through his feathers atop his head and looks real cool, even though he did nothing.
Ram's Rush is gonna do what he does best.
Start
The axe,
Start
and
carving.
he's gonna start carving.
All right.
Oh, fuck.
Let's not.
So, with that fight over and Ramsrock carving up the bullet, it's gonna just casually just like retract his shield and walk over to the gnome.
Foreman Jacob reaches out to shake your little hand, and he says, "That was some of the finest fighting I've seen in all my days, and I was in the military up north, and that was some impressive. Well, I can't believe the damage you did on that thing for such a little guy." And he's kind of doing that meme where you're how to talk to small people. He's like leaning over.
The kid's gonna stand up super straight and tall. So, there's something you should know about those
What's
that we
that?
just killed. They're incredibly territorial. So, that was the big boss in town here. Now you got an empty plot. Someone's gonna come and get it.
Are you sure about that? I might need to get a second opinion. You're telling me there could be more?
I might know. Yeah, there could be more. Yep, more. For sure. Not now. Not for a little bit. But soon.
Are you being sincere, or are you trying to deceive him?
I mean, this is true. Bullets, like, I knew what they were when we did the initial check. They are territorial creatures. And, like, the most they travel in is in a pack or two. Like, they're like, do you know how moles can be territorial? Like, how they dig burrows and how they're also territorial?
Okay.
Bullets are actually similar. So Kit kind of knows this. He doesn't know if there are any more in the region whatsoever. This could have been, like, the only one. So, who knows? But he's telling the truth, but he's also, like, kind of pulling one out of his ass at the same time. Because he's using an actual fact about them, but doesn't know if it's actually going to be backed up. He's hoping he can convince them to leave and stop completely stripping this area for logs.
Jacob reaches up and scratches his chin, and then he kind of looks over at the gnome, and the gnome kind of shrugs and says,
So if anything, that's persuasion. Or deception, I guess. Because Kit doesn't know.
"What would I roll against persuasion?"
Insight?
Okay.
So I'll roll persuasion here.
Oops, that's Jared. Hold on.
Well, that's not very good, so... That's only a 6.
He scratches in his chin. He says, This is man, I've been working for years for this thing, and I just happened to find these inventive gnomes. I don't think I can move to a new location. I'm sure it's not that big of a deal. We got this one. If another one's gonna show up, we'll have a better chance of seeing him coming. We have time in the meantime to prepare some defenses, especially with our friends here. Yeah, we'll be all right.
Walks up to him like as he's like going through this like thing, and kind of stands right next to Kit, and he says, "I don't know if I'd stand there if I were you," and he like pokes him with the tip of his club in the shoulder to kind of like add to the intimidation there. I guess I'll roll for intimidation. And I got a 19, and then plus intimidation plus 0, so just the 19.
If you had done this when you first got to camp, he would probably be pretty hostile towards you. But after seeing the group of you, not specifically Scraw, take down this behemoth, you nudge him in the shoulder, and he starts to look, well, kind of intimidated. And he goes, "Oh, I mean, I guess it wouldn't be too hard to move to a new location, or even, as long as I've got these gnomes, I could set up a different operation. We'll talk about it."
Yeah. The big thing, especially about these, is, if you keep stripping down the forest this way, they're gonna keep coming back. You gotta make sure you're planting more trees than you cut down, or as many as you cut down.
Well, it's going to delay our operation some, but I'm sure we can come up with something. As you guys are all talking about this, Jared trots up and he goes,
What were you saying about that reward for this beast? What do you lads think? 2,000 gold for risking our lives? 3,000?
I really only know how to talk money.
Hiram, you've become a bit of a... well, he doesn't want to say shrewd in front of the guy. He says, Hiram, what do you think is a fair wage for this brute?
Hiram is still passed out. Like someone's gonna have to like slap him awake.
Oh yeah.
'Cause,
Hiram?
Oh yeah,
Where
Kit's
did he
gonna
go?
run over.
Yes, yes.
Hiram, we're discussing our reward. What are you doing sleeping on the job? Come on, get up.
Well, we put in a good fight today, and I do believe the boys should be rewarded. How much did he offer at first?
What say you, good sir?
And the foreman looks at all of you, and he still looks kind of uncertain as to what you might do to him if he tries to haggle too hard. He said, I mean, you mentioned 2,000. That seems kind of reasonable to me. Hell, I might even...
Okay,
You might even
Hiram,
what?
Hiram's gonna cast message, and do like the telepathy thing with the foreman, and Hiram says to him, "If you don't pay us
What?
4,000 gold, we will burn your camp down."
Jeez!
But you guys can't hear me. Only him.
Oh crap!
He has kind of a pensive, thoughtful look on his face as he tries to figure out what the hell to do with you people, and he's thinking about this 2,000 gold. And then suddenly, as if out of nowhere, you guys see his entire countenance drop. His shoulders fall. He starts to frown, and his eyes widen. And he goes, "Just take whatever you think is fair. I would even be willing to go up to 4,000 if need be."
Oh, now that sounds pleasant. You're very generous, so thank you.
Aye, that does sound pleasant. Jared smiles his toothy grin. And the gnome wizard to his side is looking at him almost in disbelief, because he's worked with this guy long enough to know that he's quite a haggler, and he suspects that something's got to be up. So he says,
That seems a bit high, don't you think, sir?
Then Kit's gonna turn and use his paladin feature, channel divinity Nature's Wrath.
"What the hell does that do?"
Here we go! And so what this is, you could use your channel divinity to invoke primeval forces to ensnare a foe. As an action, you can cause spectral vines to spring up and reach for a creature within 10 feet of you that you can see. The creature must succeed on a strength or dexterity saving throw, its choice, or be restrained. And it will remain restrained until it succeeds.
Who are you vining?
The gnome who's like getting all suspicious because I don't like this gnome. And this is going to be used in conjunction with an intimidation to get him to stop. So he's got to make a save against, specifically, 13. Either strength or dex.
My dex roll was a 16.
So yeah, so the vines are going to spring up right around him, and he'll be able to jump out of the way in time. But they're there.
He doesn't jump as so much as fall backwards and trip over the vines, but he scrambles away and says,
What the hell? You trying to come in here and save us from this brute only to take over our operation? This is this is not what we signed up for. I'm afraid that I don't want any part of this.
And he starts to stand up and storm towards the forest.
And Kit's not even going to do anything to stop him because perfect. Now they won't have it.
The foreman turns around to protest, and then he looks back at you, and he's kind of looking between the gnome and you guys, uncertain of what to do.
Yeah, Kit just crosses his arms. He's like, Perfect.
Hiram stretches out his hand with an open palm, and then I'm
Oh,
gonna
God.
use minor illusion to like
Oh.
turn my pupils like some I don't know, just and then I guess I should make an intimidation check or what
Yeah,
would
but
be
I'm gonna give you advantage.
okay.
We're just bullying these people now.
So that's
As he
18.
as he does that, I start doing the high pitched whistle that only that gnome can hear.
So that's 21.
Okay. He's his voice kind of catches and cracks in his throat, and he goes, "You don't understand what this is. All I've worked for the last several years, and I don't think I could do it without those gnomes. You don't
Should
know
have
what
thought
you've
about
done."
that. Without being sustainable.
He kind of
And after Kit says that, I kind of chime in, sounding exactly like Kit. You gotta make sure you're planting more trees.
he puts his
And-
he holds his temples, puts his forehead in his eyes. Go ahead, Ramsrosh.
Oh, I'm just saying, Ramsrush is obvious to all of this. He's carving a monster.
Just in the background of this whole scene, just hack, slash blood goes somewhere. As we're having this intimate.
Another large plated chunk cuts loose, and he drags it off this thing with maybe some tearing of muscle.
Oh, by the way,
Like the thing in Stargate.
I'll need to talk to Tim about it, but lizardmen have an ability when they kill monster to make gear out of it. So
Well, you'll have
Yeah, we'll
plenty
deal
of
with that next week.
you'll have plenty of time to dig into
know.
this thing. So the foreman kind of puts his hand in his face, and he starts walking back towards the log cabin. He goes, "Come along, I'll fetch you your rewards." And as he passes by this Ramsrosh ripping pieces off of this thing, he kind of looks like he kind of burps, and he's like, Do you guys
he
have...
also has a piece in his mouth and is eating while he's doing that.
He is planning on giving you the full 4,000. Do you guys have anything else you want to do in this camp before we close our adventure?
Oh, before because we're about to leave, right?
You don't, unless you have things you want to do. You're gonna probably head back to the.
We should
so,
probably
as
grab
we're-
some logs.
Like as we're leaving, when we pass the two Canadian sounding guys on the way out, Scraw goes up to them and like he says the hello thing in Draconic to them and waves, and then he also like walks up and like extends out the tan bag with the fuzzy stuff inside and gestures that he wants them to take one of the fuzzy balls.
They each draw one out curiously and kind of put them in their front breast pockets. Now, do you have to actually set it down on the ground for it to?
It says once they touch the ground, because it's like meant to be a throne thing.
Oh, okay.
But like the way the text reads, it's like when they touch the ground. So I imagine at some point in the future they're gonna touch the ground, and both the rolls.
When
were
they
two.
change.
They were both two?
Yep. And so let me see what a 2 was. 2 apes.
So they're gonna
So
take
when
off their
they
clothes.
change-
Fucking, yep. 2 apes are gonna appear in their fucking.
And then,
So like as they take them out of their pockets when they get ready for bed and put them on the nightstand.
the one in green says, "Hey, geez, thanks a lot, for this thing and for taking down the monster, eh?" And the one in the blue says, "Okay, next time bring beer, eh?"
And I say, I'm glad we already made friends.
I think that's it, you guys.
Yeah, like I said,
And-
we should
and by the
probably
way,
make sure we
Straw
grab some.
has no
wood.
idea what those fuzzy things are. He has no idea that those change.
He's just handing them out for funsies, just to be nice to people.
Yeah. Which Tim, you weren't here for the first part, but like before we left the Church of Sativa, I had
You gave a
given-
bunch of them people. Oh god.
well, just one because I can only do 3 per day. So I gave
okay.
one to the centaur guy.
And then he rolled.
Oh, okay.
And then he rolled a black bear.
Yeah, that one was a black bear.
Oh my god. What the fuck?
Friendly, so
I'm waiting for Fuzzy
So-
Ball Hacky Sack when they finally.
Yeah, exactly. And as soon as it hits the ground,
Dude, I can just imagine a bunch of stoners playing fucking hacky sack the first time that one of them misses it. It turns into a black bear. They never go back to that church ever again.
you don't understand. The
Funny
bear
guy.
is friendly.
They won't care.
well,
Oh,
it's only
man.
friendly to those in my party and those who I commanded to be friendly with. So with me not there, there's no telling if it would actually be friendly or not
It's
to them.
friendly with the one who pulled it out, not the owner. So since they pulled it out, it's friendly to anyone that's friendly with the center.
So they'll be fine.
Okay.
They'll have a really chill black bear, but yeah, still surprise black bear.
Yeah.
You guys go
These
back in a
guys just
month
have
and they've
two
just got
gorillas.
this really high fucking black bear and a mound of berries just like munching on shit. Like,
Well, the fact that it's friendly probably means it's going to chase its new owners around, and they're going to be like, ah!
I do think the animals disappear.
You know the drill. If you want to play with us on any given Friday at 8 p.m. Central Time, roll up currently a level 3 character. You can always ask in the chat what we're on if you come down later in the road and we've leveled up. But you can find our link to our Discord in the description of these videos, or you can jump on our Twitter and find the Discord link in there. It's at DNDLCP. Listen to our podcast, LCP D&D. Search for it on Podbean, iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, Podbean, or CastBox. See you guys.